What is 25 years too old for? 15 years old. Whoop whoop, that's the sound of the police. 15 will get you 20. Sleeping in the car and waking up in your bed. It took me a minute to process that this does not mean you passed out drunk in your car while driving and then woke up at home afterwards. Lack of accountability. Looking down on stuff you liked as a teen because you're too old for it. I think that age 19 to 20-ish was when I realized how dumb it was to be embarrassed about hobbies and interests. Not being able to do basic chores yourself and relying on parents/partners to do them for you. I think I read too many Am I the Assholes. I'm 30 and sadly was so pampered and taken care of until like 23, even after moving out from my dad's at 18, that I'm still learning new basic things. In fact, just earlier today, my sister was over and showed me the proper way to sweep. I always use it as a cautionary tale for others to make sure they learn and teach their kids. It's a nice sentiment to have to take care of them, but there has to be a line. The swing with the leg holes at the park. My friend did this when he was 17, got stuck in the fire department, had to come to get him out. The best part was because he was a minor, they made him call his dad to come pick him up. This was many years ago, but I like to remind him as much as possible. Not cleaning up after yourself. We had a 25-year-old house guest last summer. One night he walks into the living room and goes, "Sorry guys, I clogged the toilet upstairs." We thought it was weird that he brought it to our attention, so we laughed it off and just assumed he took care of it. Nope. We walk upstairs an hour later to find the toilet filled to the brim with shit water. When I confronted him about it, he goes, "Oh well, where I grew up somebody else would always take care of that for you." I later found out that the kid grew up extremely wealthy and would just tell the maid/housekeepers to clean up his shit-clogged toilets. Too young to die and too old to eat off the kid's menu. What a stupid age. Learning that actions have consequences. You can't just undo things or backpedal your way through life. For starting a career as a competitive gymnast. I'm 54, but as soon as zero-gravity gymnastics becomes competitive, I'm going for gold. Worrying what other people think. It was such a great day when I realized I didn't have to keep seeking ambiguous approval from random people. Sure, there's people whose opinions I value, but as for the general public, I don't have to try and appease some norms and I can relax into being myself. Temper tantrums. Agreed, from now on, strictly professional tantrums only. A banana. Most bananas I get barely last a week. I think that after 25 years, it's time to throw it out. Have you tried freezing it? My mom definitely has 25-year-old bananas in her freezer. She's planning to make banana bread any day now. Screaming, "I'm done!" when on the toilet. "Come wipe my butt!" I have a brother who is 10 years older than me and I thought his friends were the coolest. Apparently I'd regularly mortify them at about the age of 4 because I would shout that I wanted friends named to come wipe me. Expecting that a significant achievement will merit prodigy status. 25 is still pretty young in coaching, government, or the corporate and business world. Too old for drama and fake friends. Once I got out of places like college and especially high school, I really started valuing my free time and it became easier to pick out relationships I thought were actually worth it and tend to them. If you still find yourself hanging out with people you hate/hate you once you're no longer required to be in a space with these people, that's on you, with certain exceptions pertaining to abusive relationships, of course. High school drinking parties. Stop being a damn creep. Once you're 21, you're too old. Cops come, "Oh, you're the only one who can legally provide alcohol there?" That's a felony. Not knowing how to grocery shop. What does this mean? Do people not know how to go into a grocery store and buy the ingredients they need? Worrying about what others think of you. Live your life. They can get bent if they don't like what you're doing for your life. Making mistakes and blaming everyone else, thus never learning and living in a cycle of bad choices due to lack of self-awareness. I feel like that's less of an age thing and more of a maturity and willing to learn and get better thing. Got elders doing that as often as kids and every year in between. Committing petty crimes. 25 is just about the age where what I call the newspaper effect starts to set in. If you read "Local man, 24, arrested for insert petty crime," you think he's just a kid. If you read the same thing about someone 25 plus, you assume they're a piece of trash that won't get their life together. There are a couple of dumbasses that I went to high school with who got arrested for throwing rocks at cars driving on the freeway. They were 32 and 33 years old, and one of them has children. For thinking you are too old for arbitrary things. Stay youthful, people. Do whatever makes you happy, within reason. In my opinion, because it turned into an addiction. I'm gonna say drinking every day / too much partying. Cool it down before it's too late. As a 25-year-old who lives with similar aged roommates, I notice it's about this age one starts reflecting on that party lifestyle and either addresses it or doesn't. Edit, everyone thinks I'm only talking about alcohol. I'm talking all substances that change your mind. I personally struggle with weed, although I have been 100% sober this month. Dating minors, not to be confused with minors, they're some pretty hardworking people. Edit, many people are questioning what about a minor? At that point you really have to understand that it is up for discussion. To be a minor, they must be very mature for their age and not like the other girls. It's too old to go another year without starting your D&D career. You need to establish yourself with a group of friends who will age with you as you continue your campaigns together, otherwise you'll end up like me. A closet dork who is just now coming to terms with the fact that I've always wanted to play it, but was too afraid to ask someone to show me. Now I'm older and I'm trying to teach myself and I have no one to play / guide me. Dating a teenager. When I was 16, I dated a 28-year-old guy, thinking I was hot shit. Now I'm 32 and constantly thinking what the F. Just here to make sure nobody says video games. 25 is too old to be making fun of people for their hobbies, so long as they're legal and ethical. Literally, I'm a manager at GameStop and I had one guy come in my store talking shit about he's too old to play video games and outgrew them a long time ago and that it's childish. He was probably mid-20s, and I'm just like, okay buddy, so what are you doing here? Not knowing how to do basic life maintenance / house upkeep. No excuses not knowing how to do your laundry and have at least a few basic meal recipes you can make for yourself. I understand even financially, some people still need to live with their parents at 25, but not knowing how to keep yourself maintained and contribute to your family on basic cleaning and cooking tasks is not acceptable. I lived with a friend who had never left her parents' place up until she lived with me other than a dorm. Her dad didn't let her do any house cleaning, always saying she was doing it wrong and taking over. She accidentally made a huge sticky mess in our kitchen, and I had to go walk her through how to mop a floor. It took so long, and she used far more water than she should have, so it took forever to dry. But I didn't say anything because I knew she was already so self-conscious that she didn't know how to do these things. The apartment she lives in now is very clean and tidy, and she bought the same mop I had before, LOL. To be told what to do by your parents. Children of immigrants laugh at your statement. The options are doctor, lawyer, engineer, failure. Going to prom. I'm 42 and take my wife to prom every year. I mean, we're technically chaperones, but we go to dinner first and don't have to stay the whole time. Not having independent living skills. Yes and no, it's a shame if you don't know how to sweep by 25, but it's never too late to learn. It is too old to feel entitled to have someone take care of you, but I honestly know 80-year-old men who don't know how to grocery shop and cook, and 80-year-old women who don't know how to pay bills. Interpersonal drama. If you don't get along with Jessica in marketing, or feel the urge to fight your significant other's side piece, then you're acting like a child and you need to grow the F up. At 25 years old, you can choose who you associate with. If everyone in your social circle is an asshole, then move to a different social circle. Be friends with people who go to work, pay their bills, abide by laws, and don't lie to their romantic partners. If you're hanging out with drug dealers, drug addicts, cheaters, and bums, then you're just asking for drama. If you're willfully spending time with drama queens, it's because you're a drama queen too. Grow up. Not going to therapy. Bro, I promise it will help. Man to man, you need to address what's going on in your brain. That shit with your parents, your ex, the anger you have inside that comes out when you're drunk. Dog, you aren't broken. You just need someone to help you untangle that shit. Do you really want to be this stressed and alone in your 30s, dude? You don't even have to tell anyone you're going, dog. Just go. Everyone says this, and I know it's the generic default response now, but I've been quite mentally ill since I had a manic episode at 19, and my experiences with therapists have been mediocre at best. I opened up to one on the first session and he literally said that came too fast, but let's do this experimental magnetic brain imaging for $700. I've probably been to 20 or more. Like, how many do I have to go for it to work? Everyone wants to paint a nice picture of the mental health system, but in reality, it doesn't work all the time, and I'd go as far as to say at least 30% of people getting help aren't getting anything out of therapy or meds. Therapy and drugs can't fix a collapsing societal structure, debt, poverty, etc. My coworker, I'm 20 and he's 26, brought up Snapchat and some girl he knew. He remarked on her Snap score, number of how many pictures, texts you've sent over time, and how high it was. How she must be a hoe, a homie hopper, attention whore, etc. While I'm staring at him like, seriously? You're 26 and you're worried about some random girl's Snapchat who you don't even associate with. I pretty much said that and he was all, I just find it crazy, like no one gives a fuck about this stuff, so why would you send so many pictures? Obviously you give a F, weirdo behavior. I'm 25 and when I was 16 people cared about the Snap score. They'd watch it to see if their boyfriend/girlfriend was snapping someone else other than them. Using drunkenness as an excuse. That goes out the window when you turn 21. I have a douchebag roommate who pressured my female friend into drinking alcohol, and when I confronted him, he instantly went, well, I was probably drunk that night. He wasn't at all. Even so, whether it's saying mean things, cheating on his girlfriend, stealing my stuff, it's always, well, I was drunk. Everyone thinks he's a total piece of shit, and he is, but that's my answer. This is one of the ones I was looking for, but 25, not 21. It's frustrating at 21, but being the first legal drinking year in US is more understandable. 4 years on the other hand, and honestly a lot of people have even longer than that by starting to drink underage, is more than enough time to figure out what your limits are. If you're still effing up regularly, that is a major difference versus, say, uncharacteristically accidentally overdoing it on New Year's and throwing up. Though the people who F up normally often treat it like the latter. Nothing. Maybe breastfeeding, but really, I mean, if you and your partner are into that. I hate this idea that you get to be too old for something. I was playing BDO a few years ago, and someone found out I was 30 and almost had a heart attack, it seemed. They then tried to shame me, calling me a bad mom, etc, etc. I told them to shut the fuck up, kids are happy, bills are paid, mortgage is paid, I'm doing this. AKD, I still play video games. My 61-year-old mom still plays. She has a PS5, life is too short to worry about what others think. If it makes you happy and hurts no one, embrace that and do it. We are here to live and be happy, not hide away because some imaginary number dictates our quality of life. Thanks for watching, subscribe.